What is up, everybody? PTB here, and I've got a great game for you guys today. I'm playing Kill Confirmed on Drone. I'm using the PDW Silenced, and what I want to do is really just put the gameplay aside. That's just for the background for you guys to enjoy. I really go off in this game of Kill Confirmed, so you'll enjoy it. But what I'd like to do is talk about a highly anticipated topic and a really hot item around the Call of Duty world, the Xbox world, the YouTube community, and that is the Xbox 720, or rumored to be, or also known by some as the codename Durango. So, needless to say, there are plenty of rumors floating all around from any source across the world, or all sorts of different sources, of just different things that people think or claim to know the Xbox 720 is going to include or be about. So what I'm going to be doing is basically just summing up all these rumors, just telling you guys, running down everything that I've heard, every different thing that I've heard, what I think about it, and what my personal opinion of the console is going to be. So, to start off, something that I think a lot of people have agreed on, and I've heard of from a lot of different sources about the Xbox 720, is that this particular console is going to have basically included all the other options that you used to have for Xbox 360. Like you had an option to buy the newer one that had Wi-Fi built in versus the older one that didn't have it. You have the option to buy Kinect. If you didn't have it, you have the option to buy the Xbox with the HDMI. You have the option to not use HDMI. You can use component. So what I've heard from a lot of sources, and I believe would be smart and is going to happen, is this Xbox 720 is going to include all of those things that I just mentioned in it. It's going to have HDMI port built in. It's going to have Wi-Fi built in. It's going to have Kinect, I think, is going to be included. I'll be talking about that in a few minutes. There's a different subject of Kinect, little interesting bit that I've read in some different rumors that I'll mention later. And also this Xbox 720, I believe, is going to include the max hard drive, either built-in or just standard coming with it with a 250 gigabyte hard drive, because that's what everybody's pushing towards. Almost everybody I know now has the 250 gigabyte. Those 20 gigabyte and 60 gigabytes are so old now, like I don't think anybody uses them anymore. So I think that would be smart in general for both the fans, the buyers, and Microsoft as the manufacturer of Xbox 720 to include all those things in it. Because obviously when people are going to buy a gaming console, they want everything done for them. It's not going to be something difficult that you want to do. I mean, when back in the day when everybody was first buying their Xboxes, it was confusing, you know, like if your mom wanted to buy you an Xbox for Christmas, she didn't have the easiest time doing it because she needed to get you this cord, this adapter for wireless, this hard drive. And so usually people weren't getting complete sets, and not a lot of people really knew what they were talking about. So I think that'd be a really smart thing for Microsoft to just simplify it for the buyer, and it'll pay off that much better for them in the end. The next rumor that I'd like to mention, I've heard from multiple sources, and this is very, very interesting, that I don't know, it's a little weird, and I don't see how it makes much sense, but I've heard it from a lot of sources, so I'll mention it. What I've heard is that the Xbox 720 is going to require a Kinect sensor. Now that can be taken a few different ways. Like, I think a lot of people hear that and assume, oh, they're just going to rip you off and make you pay $200 separately from your Xbox to be able to use it. Because apparently, I've heard in these rumors at least, that it's going to be required to be connected to a Kinect sensor for some reason in order to operate the system. Whether, not that it's required to use your hands and the motion sensors, but for some reason, people are thinking that it's going to be required to have that connected to operate an Xbox 720. Now, if this is true, I can see how Microsoft is going to go about doing it. Like I said earlier, I would not be surprised if they included something like that in the console, in the base price of the console, if they're going to require it. That'd just be smart marketing by them. It would obviously not be a good thing on the consumer end if you're going to have to buy an Xbox 720 console and then pay a separate $100, $200 plus for a Kinect sensor. So I think Microsoft is taking that into account, and that's not something that we're going to have to worry about. I really doubt Microsoft would be trying to rip us off like that. But it's something to keep in mind and something that's possible. So we'll see. Now, another rumor that I, in my personal opinion, believe is a lot more likely and something that is of the future and I could see happening with the next-gen consoles, including the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 720, is what they're calling either game streaming or game downloads. What they want to do is, obviously, the direction we're moving in technology is completely diskless. I mean, video games back in the 90s, they started with the cartridges. Then they moved to discs, and now a lot of things are moving to downloads. As you know, Xbox Marketplace and everything, you can just download it right from the internet. Now, a lot of sources are saying that there's a chance even that these next-gen consoles are just going to drop the disc drive completely. I think that would be stupid because obviously people want to watch DVDs and play their old games, but the direction we're moving points towards a diskless gaming generation. where you go and you download a new game. The day it comes out, you can go and download it fully to your hard drive without even having to go to the store. I think that would be good in a lot of aspects, but at the same time, I think that would be a little bit of a drastic change for the next generation consoles that a lot of gamers I don't think would approve of. And to go along with that, if you do go diskless or if your games are downloadable, that means that you can't share games. And that's something that obviously Microsoft and the sellers and manufacturers of the games are going to like. That means everybody has to buy their own copy. Because I have plenty of friends that might not have Halo, might not have Call of Duty. So you just bring your disc over when you go into their house, and it's that easy. And I think they're trying to eliminate that in order to make more people buy the game and obviously to sell more copies. The funny thing is, though, a lot of rumors go along with that, but then a lot of rumors go with the complete polar opposite. What I've also been hearing from a lot of sources is that the Xbox 720 / the PlayStation 4, that next generation of consoles, is going to include not only still have the disc drive, but it's going to have multiple disc drives, or one disc drive that can switch discs, like those some of those old-fashioned like CD players or stereo systems, where you can put a bunch of discs in at once, and then you could choose on the console from the menu which one you want to play. I think that's a great idea in some aspects, but obviously I think that would make the console definitely larger. To be able to fit multiple discs is going to make it larger, and I think the end target that everybody wants is a smaller, more compact, more mobile console. And for Xbox, as well as that disc changer, I've heard a lot about it being able to be compatible with Blu-ray, which obviously would be a smart idea, but if anybody knows, Blu-ray is owned by Sony, which makes PlayStation 4, which is a little bit weird. Why are you using the technology of the competitor? But obviously, Blu-rays are huge. They're bigger than DVDs, and if anybody's still buying discs or movies, the odds are they're buying Blu-rays because they're high-quality HD movies and DVDs. Now, the way that would work is if Microsoft did include Blu-ray compatibility in their Xbox 720, they would be paying PlayStation or Sony for every single Blu-ray compatible console that they made. And yeah, that might seem strange that Microsoft is going to have to pay Sony for every console that they make, a small amount, but that is slightly normal in a lot of manufacturing. In case you didn't even know, Apple, with their iPhone, a lot of the parts for the iPhone are made by other companies. The screens are partially made by LG and some are made by Samsung. Samsung is Apple's biggest competitor in the cell phone market, and Samsung manufactures some of their parts. So that's just another example. It's really not that uncommon of a thing. I mean, if it's good technology, people want to use it, and so they'll pay the royalties on that in order to sell more consoles for themselves in the end. So that's enough about the disc drives and the disc compatibility. It'll be really interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'll keep you guys updated, obviously, when more details come out. But let's move on. Next rumor I want to hit is the wireless and internet capability in the Xbox 720. Obviously, I think that this next console is going to include the Wi-Fi adapter built in. That obviously is something that will happen because the Xbox 360 Slim already has it built in, so why would they go backward? But something interesting about the internet being included, if the internet compatibility, the Wi-Fi compatibility is built in, I've heard some rumors going along the lines that Xbox 720 will require an internet connection to be able to play the console. Now, the way that that could be true is, like I said, the game downloading and game streaming. What may happen is that games have to be streamed or downloaded, and in order to do that, you're going to need an internet connection. If discs are done away with, then the only way to access your games is to access the internet. So what I've heard is that it's going to be completely internet-based, where those games are going to be online, maybe not even stored on your console, and so you will need a constant internet connection to be able to play any of those games. Yeah, a lot of people are getting outraged at that because a lot of people play their games, a lot of those campaign-based solo games like Oblivion, Skyrim, those kind of games, you don't need the internet. You can play offline and just save your game on your hard drive, and that's what a lot of people choose to do. So I do believe that that would be not the smartest direction for Xbox, Microsoft to go in the next consoles, to require an internet connection, because that really just shuts down a whole different side, a whole different community of gamers that don't necessarily like to play online. I know that's a lot of information I threw at you, but to sum it up, we're really looking at a pretty drastically changed gaming generation coming up in the Xbox 720 and the PlayStation 4. But obviously these are all just rumors, so we're going to have to wait to hear official word from the companies that make these consoles, respectively Microsoft and Sony, for any real confirmation about these upcoming consoles. And that confirmation could come as early as June, because in June is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, otherwise known as E3. And at E3 is where a lot of gaming companies like to unveil their new things. Microsoft unveiled Kinect there, Nintendo unveiled the Wii U there. So it's hopeful that we could see something, so we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, if there is any new information, I will update you guys about it. That brings an end to this game. I finished 64-6 in Kill Confirmed with 35 confirms. So please subscribe to my channel if you're not already. You'll find all sorts of updates on this topic and anything else Call of Duty and Xbox on here. Please thumbs up this video if you liked it. And that's just about it. As always, thanks for watching. I'm PTB, and I'm out.